In this video, you'll learn if buying a home in 2020 is right for you, including if prices will go up or down. That's starting right now.
Welcome to Home Buyers School, brought to you by Brookfield Residential.
Hi everyone, I'm Carl. Welcome to another Home Buyer School video, a channel where you get the latest strategies, tactics, and tips from home buying experts. And remember, if this is your first time on this channel and you want to get the latest strategies from the experts, hit the subscription button below, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss anything. So today, I'm joined by local realtor Brad McCallum with RE/MAX First, and the topic we're going to cover is, should I buy a home in 2020? So Brad, if I haven't bought a home yet, and I'm thinking about buying a home in 2020, is it a good time to buy in 2020?
Listen, you should never ask a realtor this because it's always a good time to buy. No, I'm just kidding. I actually do think that it is going to be a good opportunity for people to enter the market. The trepidation I think a lot of people have, especially in our local market, is that at the beginning of the year, there was forecasts that housing was probably going to drop in price. And obviously, if you're a buyer, you don't want to buy something today if you're worried that it might actually drop in price a year from now. So what we've actually seen though in our local market is there's been a real stabilization. So over the last 6 or 7 months, we've seen a decrease in inventory. We've seen not necessarily an increase in sales, but a lot more balance returning to the market. There's about 3.5 to 4 months supply in some of the different sectors. And that's a fairly balanced market. The challenge that we face right now is just the general mood, right? If you watch the news too much, you can start to realize that there's all these events you have no control over. But if your own life, if you're getting married, or your family's growing, or it's time for you to buy that first investment property, let your own situation be the guide on whether or not it's the right time to buy or not. Don't try to time the market.
Because I think unless you live in Vancouver or Toronto, which the markets are very, very different.
Yes.
I also think that, let's say the prices do come down a little bit.
Okay.
Right? It's not like you're going to sell your home within like 3 months of buying.
Yeah.
It, right? So I think it is an investment at least 2, 3, 5, 10 years, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense to just follow that fluctuation.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. There's an analogy of no one wants to catch a falling knife, right? You want it to hit the floor, pick it up safely. And so that's the idea with falling home prices, that buyers get a little bit nervous if they see some drop. But the reality is home prices every year in steady markets, in up markets, there is fluctuation of always 2 or 3%. They might start the year saying, there's going to be a 4% appreciation in price, and we see 1, or we see 7%. So no one has a crystal ball. No one knows what the next year is going to be. And I think once again, it goes back to your own personal situation. If you're making an investment and you're trying to time the market and sell it in a year, it's almost never a good decision to take that approach. But if your window is 3 to 5 years, which is sort of a common time for someone to buy their first home, or before they move to their next home, then you're probably going to be fine. I'm actually quite bullish on Calgary. I'm bullish on the housing market if you give yourself enough time in the market. It's the same thing like in investments. They say invest a little bit every month for the long term, and 30, 40 years from now, you're going to be so glad you did. I'm 41 years old. I know friends who didn't buy their homes, and it never got cheaper.
I never thought,
did.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because one of the questions I was going to ask you is, do you think prices will go down in 2020? But I don't think it really matters, right? Because the market fluctuates, and like you said, you don't know what are the situations that'll come in 2020. Right?
I mean, in our local market, there's so many different factors that could be down 1%, that could be up 1%, or could be up as many as 5 or 6%. There is so many things. One thing I know is that if there's a fluctuation of just a little bit, it doesn't matter if your horizon is a 5-year horizon. It doesn't matter. And the more important question that you should be asking, because most of us, it's like one of those primary goals is to have a home. And if that's something that you want and something you need for your family, there's a whole bunch of non-monetary reasons to have that sense of permanence, to be able to offer that to your family. I mean, there's so much more value that you're going to get from it than just the return when you sell your home, even 5 years from now.
Well, it's interesting because I know we've gotten comments in the past from videos saying, hey, when you did a video on should I buy a home in 2019, and we got some comments saying, well, you didn't answer the question, but I'm like, I think the question has to come back to you is look at your situation.
Yeah.
Is it a good time for maybe you to buy in 2019 or 2020, right? Has your situation changed? Is your family growing? Is your family getting smaller, right? Do you need to move? Yes. Have you gotten a new job that you can't possibly commute, or you'd like a very closer commute? I think that would probably be the answer is ask yourself, is it the right time for you to buy?
Absolutely. Housing is one of those basic needs that people have. Like we need a roof over our head, and we are inside, and especially in our climate, we're inside our homes for 6 months out of the year. There is a real quality of life tick that you get when you're in a space that you enjoy.
Perfect. So do you have anything else to add in terms of buying a home in 2020?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say don't follow the headlines too closely. If you follow those headlines, you're going to believe at any point in time that the entire world is falling apart and that there's never a good time to buy a home. And that's the thing is, and I've been there too. I can understand that. What I would say though is that over the long term, I read a statistic once. I know it was for America, so I don't know how it applies to Canada. But a 65-year-old citizen of the United States who is a homeowner, his average worth is about $380,000. A 65-year-old citizen of the United States who's a renter, his average worth is about $7,500. So even if you do nothing else in your life, if you don't save for the future, you don't put away for RRSPs, if you just make that monthly payment on your mortgage, you're going to be gifted with a safety blanket 25 years from now when you've paid off your house. It's one of the simplest paths for the everyday person to build wealth for their family and for themselves in their retirement.
So you actually touched on something. If you want to know more about renting versus owning, check out our video here in the description below. So the question of the day I have for you is, are you planning to buy a home in 2020? Why or why not? Let us know in the comments section below. If you want to know more about buying or building a home, check out this video here as well as other home buying videos in our playlist here. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in our next video.